Друзья, всем привет! Мы продолжаем играть в Forgotten City. Так, нам надо спасти Дули из клетки. Нам надо сорвать выбор. Ох, эти выборы. Угу.
Citizen. Name's Rufius. Better watch your step. No idea what you're talking about. It's the rheumatism. I'll leave him alone from now on. It's not as if I was ever going to hurt him anyway. I was just lashing out. I'm going to go and clean up the graffiti. Just...
Давай, буду обрадую парня.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to... I hear we have you to... What demon or spirit told you about that? You went snooping in his place? That was risky. We're lucky you didn't cross any lines. Have you spoken to him about it? Really? How did you manage that? Poor fellow. I've heard that can really mess with a person's head. Well done for figuring that out. Really? That's promising. I'll keep an eye out for him. Nice to talk to you.
Да, вот я как раз хотела посмотреть. Вон у меня тут еще немного осталось. Праведник. Понять, как добиться избрания, галерея. Так, популяризовать этот. Будешь голосовать в галерее?
Welcome back.
Давай.
Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place.
Citizen.
My vote isn't for sale.
Не-не.
Nice to talk to...
Какой ты молодец. Вот заодно подкачаешь. Ну ладно. Не будем смешивать профессиональное с развлекательным. Так, давайте полетим, куда нам надо, с кем. Точка отсчета, ну это понятно, парадокс и скрижали. Праведник галерии, скрижаль. Ну, так я же его спросила. Ну. Может, она у него спрятана?
Greetings and salutations.
Сундучок. Нет, не надо мне. Спасибо.
This part of my shop is off limits, even for you, my sartorial friend.
Все, я ушла. Так, я же женщина, я все время забываю. Ну, то есть чаще всего все равно за мужчин играешь, причем здесь как в основном мужики. Всякие. Так. А пойдемте посмотрим, куда хоть эти скрижали-то вставляются. Угу. Так. Стаза, вероятно, богини, которой посвящен этот... Этот храм. Может, какой-нибудь местный грек знает о ней больше. Не уверена, что я хочу туда идти. Может, там все-таки были. Здесь вот тоже столько места, и что вот там вот? Туда ведь пройти нельзя. Ну да, обрушился храм. Посмотрим, туда скрижали вставлять эти.
Be careful who you trust.
Так. Какой-то проход. Ну, так чего ты тут на камушек не запрыгнул? Понятно, что тупо... Ой. Просто нельзя пройти. Ну ладно. Так, что температуру сходим. Более тщательно посмотрим. Кажется, это убралась эту скрижаль. Нужно найти ее, чтобы расшифровать значение надписи на обелиске. На обелиске. Ну, пойду. галерей. Где, интересно, храм великого Балуна? То есть каждый тут живет. Непонятно, храм, не храм. Ой, напугал-то меня. Куда он ушел-то опять?
Don't believe a word they tell you.
Ого.
Salve.
Это кто? Это утка? Гусь? Ну-ка, поговори. Гусь, поговори. Ну что коза не говорит ничего? Здесь, наверное, не очень ценные. Ух ты! Не видно. Блин. Так, галерея, я тебя, кстати, что это? Искала ведь? Куда ты идешь, Улта? Блин, нашла и отвлеклась на эту гуся дурацкого. Да уж, пойдем, ты, наверное, всю жизнь ходить, так с ума сойти можно. Черт. Надо было посмотреть по сторонам, пока я падала. Ну ладно. Ну, что долго-то так? Вообще хотел упасть пониже туда. Нету там ничего. Ладно. Понятно, короче, там ничего нету, все, пойдем.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
Там не видела этого? Не ходит там? Короче, ладно, идемте. Наткнемся на него, так я его спрошу по поводу. По поводу его выдвижения на выборах.
How come you're allowed a weapon and I'm not?
Это, наверное, проход для того, если мы не найдем ключ. Блин.
Did you just scale the wall to my villa somehow? I must remember to have words with that buffoon Domitius. Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me? Look, if I had a Roman plaque in my possession, I'd be happy to sell it to you, but I don't, so I can't. My name is Marcus. And I'm hard. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen to... Well, I am not suffering from any... Unlikely. Are you insane? You barge into my villa, uninvited, and then make outrageous demands? Why would I withdraw? You are acting very strange. You mean... Well,
Okay.
as you wish. I trust you can see through the door this time. There's a key just beside it.
Вообще-то я зашла через дверь. Так, куда же нам? Так, еще там какие? Греческая, георгий этот. Блин, что за старик? Давай мне покажи, где. Ай. Я хоть узнаю, что за старик тут у нас ходит.
Greetings and salutations.
Так, торопись. старик, все, да, поняла. Который, ну, в общем, мы не хотели идти в который храм. Туда и придется. И что не ведет-то куда-то, эй? Так, нет, меня отсюда подали туда. Угу. Все. Вспомнила. Хранение. Так. Руками-то машет. Ух. Пещера, да пещера. Ага.
Ah, a visitor.
Зайди.
Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
Сзади вон там.
It is best you do not know my name, for merely to speak of my existence in the city. Tell me. Ah, Kabash. I know this man. He came through here some weeks ago. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I have been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the Golden Rule? Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a... Wonderful. Then let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong? You are an overthinker too. We're the same then. It is probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the Golden Rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult. Well, that's reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable, because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree? So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing? Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right system yet?
Сложно.
So is it up to each of us to decide what right and wrong mean to us individually? Or must we simply follow the laws and customs of whichever community we're in?
Так, выходит, что нам самим нужно решать для себя, что такое добро, а что зло, или просто следовать законам. Ну, блин, любое добро и зло, в общем-то, и придумано, ну, законами. И не про уголовный кодекс имею в виду, а моральные законы, вот эти.
You know, I think you'd find an ally in Herodotus, a scribe from among my people who lived some 400 years ago. He told the story of a man named Darius, whose curiosity was piqued when he learned that a certain tribe had the practice of eating their dead. He asked some Greeks who burnt their dead, "What would it take for you to eat your dead?" Aghast, they replied, "Nothing." Then he asked the tribe who ate their dead, "What would it take for you to burn your dead?" "Nothing," they replied, equally aghast. From this, Herodotus concluded that custom is king, that right and wrong are merely local ideas which do not survive the journey from one tribe to another. I take it you're in agreement? Then let me ask you this. If you visited a tribe where they ate each other, copulated with the dead and drank wine from cups made out of human skulls, would you still maintain that within such a tribe there is nothing wrong with such conduct?
Блин, ну для членов этого племени, да, оно приемлемо, но для меня, так как я моральные устои у меня другие, конечно, нет. Ну тут, блин, еще будет думать, что это приемлемо.
And that's a credit to you. It is the mark of a civilized person to change their position when presented with a superior argument. My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong. If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all.
Да, тут.
I'm glad to hear that. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your questions. You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story. I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night I found myself. It became heated. He drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, but even with all my skill, I failed. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death. So I began looking for a place to hide underground.
Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny. Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation, so I like to imagine arguments where I argue both sides. But like so many things in life, arguments are better with a partner. I'm afraid I am the only one left. There were 12 of us in the beginning, but one by one, my friends passed away. Some from malnutrition, others from madness and despair. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Kabash some weeks ago, I'd not seen another person in many, many years. I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, that Hades would hear you and know I am still alive. My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. My friends and I were able to avoid. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his furies hadn't finished. They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my people called him Hades. As you wish. I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things you must know. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek. The architecture, the temples, and the people. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over, and renamed the things that could not. Thus, the shrine of Persephone became the shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans. I'm getting to that. You see, it was among these old Greek relics that I found the thing you seek. An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription. We had no idea until years later, when the first of my friends began to die. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern to lay them to rest. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Kabash's trail. I assure you it is not, although it will be dangerous. I urge you to exercise caution. Take this key. You'll need it to open the gate. If I did, would I be living? Did we not discuss it at length already? I enjoyed our chat, but please,
Пока. Пуп-пуп. Тут интересно, будет какая-нибудь дрянь или нет?